And now, a something good to watch.
Original.
The Turtleneck Club would be a group of guys who somehow missed just about everything.
It was weird.
Working on the Turtleneck Club was a blast.
Hot. The experience was awesome.
Self-congratulatory. Kind of out of this world.
I mean, you have to witness it. You have to feel it. That makes sense?
Brotherhood.
Ridiculous.
It's almost like they've come from another country.
Overall, it was just a really enjoyable experience.
People have asked me what the movie is about.
So what's this movie you're in? Tell me a little bit about it. And a lot of these people don't know Jonathan Pierce.
Okay, what is the movie about?
Well,
I'm not exactly sure how I would start.
It's easy, you know. The movie is about 7 ingrates, 7 degenerates.
It's a group of guys who get together, wear turtlenecks, and party down and get it done. They're constantly getting it done.
Basically hang out and act like idiots, which is what we did plenty of, especially me and especially Jonathan.
It's just very different. I just had to tell them, well, it's just kind of like a comedy, it's just kind of different. And I didn't go into too much detail, because if I went into too much detail, they'd kind of look at me different.
well.
I'm really glad Jonathan took out the scene where we're supposed to be rollerblading down Riverside in Speedos. I mean, that was there, and it was in there. And when I saw that, I was just kind of like, I can't tell anybody I'm in this movie.
The plot of the Turtleneck Club, gosh.
You know, it's also about discovery of the unknown.
Turtlenecks are it. Wearing the turtlenecks is it. Being a man who wears a turtleneck is the place to be, and this is the group to be with. Turtleneck Club is the best club in the world.
They're hiding behind their ability to adapt to society in the form of starting a club where only they interact with each other, and they're also hiding behind the turtleneck itself.
That's definitely an articulate way to describe it, but it's not. It's way short selling it.
Does the Turtleneck Club have a plot?
Walls melting around you is that hot. It doesn't matter. You're in the neck. You're in the zone. You're in full neck. That's it.
Their inability to express who they really are is hidden behind this ridiculous wild child turtleneck
That is devoted entirely to the love of, wearing of, and passion for turtleneck sweaters. That's crazy.
I haven't seen a turtleneck in probably 10 years anyway.
And what they really need is a Jayhawks jersey and a couple of Reeboks, and they're going to be fine. But they don't know that yet. And the movie is about that self-discovery.
I don't know. I just don't know. Oh, that's funny. I don't know.
So where did this concept come from? Where did this ingenious concept of getting some guys in some turtlenecks and making a short movie out of it? Basically, my brother, when he was in 8th grade, he was having a birthday party, and all the guys were just doing a bunch of crazy stuff, and they had found a trash sack in the house crammed with turtlenecks. So they got all those out and basically put them on, put the camera in the corner, and just made up this ad-lib skit about guys in a turtleneck club.
It cracks me up that this movie started out as a little skit, something that we filmed like a little handy cam, and we made a thing called the Turtleneck Club. And how many years does this down the line? It's got to be now almost a decade later.
It was just a really funny idea to me, and it really seemed like a Saturday Night Live type of concept that would work. And I was in the flow of wanting to do a movie, and that concept just came up.
And he had been talking about the Turtleneck Club thing then. I kind of thought he made it up then. I found out later he had actually something he's been working on for a while. But he was kind of getting that going there a little bit. So apparently this is just been on his mind for a long time. And I didn't think a whole lot about it at the time because I saw just a little thing. I had no idea it was going to be this.
Pull some of those turtlenecks out of some trash sacks, and you're ready to go.
So Jonathan, told me about the traction kit and he showed it to me, and I saw the picture and I had never heard of a traction kit.
As far as how the story actually got put together, I just was in that whole little beginning process, hadn't written anything yet, and I walked into a thrift store and I found this thing mocking me, staring me down, called the traction kit.
So I had my kind of conception of, maybe this film is about some, weird guys, some nerdy types just being themselves in a little club or something. And then when he pulled out that grocery bag that he had been carrying in some of the shots and pulled out a traction kit, I had no foundation anymore. I did not understand the project.
I saw the picture of the dude's head that was from 1986, and he was strapped in, ready to go. Had the traction kit on, perfectly normal for him. He felt great, he looked great. He's wearing a traction kit. We're all cool here.
I still don't really know what it does.
I asked my parents, I was like, so what is a traction kit? I mean, it's this thing wrapped around this guy's head. It's just a medical device that's used to suspend or keep the weight off of a particular area of your body. When you see in films or cartoons, the guy laying in bed with his broken leg in a cast suspended up from a little crane type device. Well, that's a traction type of device.
I thought it was just so hilarious that anyone who looks at that thing is just gonna be like, what is that?
Jonathan didn't have all the parts to the traction kit. I think he ended up going and trying to find a suitable white cloth material that could be used to fashion the kit and basically make his own custom part for the traction kit. And strangely, I believe he told me he found, I don't know where, but he found some type of scrotum device that was a scrotum holder or something. I'm not making this up.
So that was the first thing that got written down for the movie, was the scene where I'm yelling at RC in the bathroom for putting it on and wearing it. And how dare he do that? And then I was able to piece it together with, I bring it home, and then he goes in and he finds it, and then at the end, the joke continues because Brian pulls one out, and he got one from work. It was one of the gifts for having high quality scores at work.
The traction kit was my turning point. Once I saw that, I realized that something was very off with this film, and I was really looking forward to shooting the rest of it.
So my experience as an actor.
I don't think I've ever acted before. I mean, I did try out, I'll tell you this, I did try out for, to be a high school play. It was the Helen Keller story. Yeah, didn't get it.
My experience as an actor mostly comes from sales, retail sales.
Pretty much you could say none, unless being in a few projects with Jonathan, like in high school, counts.
Yeah, I don't have any previous experience in movies, maybe home movies, but even then they were, I didn't know the camera was on me.
Never really done acting other than just playing around in front of the camera at home, stuff like that. So this is the third project I've been in with him that has me wearing crazy headgear.
I've been on a few other film sets before, but in various capacities.
I first heard about this, I just got pretty much a cold call from Jonathan Pierce. I had no idea about any of what the project was, what it was about. He tried to explain it a couple of times, and I was just like, yeah, okay.
Out of the blue one day, I get this phone call from Jonathan, and he said, "Hey Spencer, I'm making this movie called Turtleneck Club. Would you like to be part of it?" I was like, "Seriously, what's the name of it?" He's like, "Turtleneck Club." I was like, "Oh, okay, whatever, dude." I feel bad now for kind of belittling the whole situation and all about, oh, you're making a movie about turtlenecks. Way to go, Jonathan.
We're in training, all these different people. I've never met anybody before. We're just in this class. And then there's Jonathan, who is rather unique.
When he asked me, I said, sure, yes. I don't think I completely knew what I was getting into, But I think I knew that I didn't know what I was getting into, because that's just how it is with Jonathan Pierce.
I got a call through a colleague of mine who's also a cameraman and a director, and he just said he had a friend who was making a film and was looking for a sound person, and I just happened to be available that weekend. And I like recording sound.
He had called me and said, I'm doing a movie, I'm doing the Turtleneck Club, and which cracked me up initially because that was a sketch that that we filmed when we were kids. I'm thinking, I don't know if this is really going to work out because, you know, I'm 3,000 miles away. But then he starts emailing me more and more about this thing and about, I'm willing to fly you down to pay for your plane ticket for you to come and be in this movie. And I mean, once he said that, I was like, I thought that was really cool. And I started to be like, okay, how can we work this out?
Dennis, who's the guy with the red turtleneck, he was just someone that I basically knew, you know, through other friends.
And he called me kind of out of nowhere and said, hey, I've got this idea for you to be in the movie that I'm making right now.
And Rick, I was at a birthday dinner.
He was talking to me, he was like, you know what, I need you. I didn't know what he meant at first. He's like, and then he, you know, honestly asked, he said, you know, I really want you to be in this movie.
I think he agreed to that, not really knowing what he, sure.
I had no idea what I was signing up for. You know, I had no idea what was going on. It was all new and different, you know. And I just thought he meant like, you know, 20 minutes here, 20 minutes there, a little bit of skit, you know, you say some lines and that's it. But it turned out to be, you know, a real serious production. And so yeah, it was at a restaurant, you know, just sitting at a table. I got discovered.
Sometimes when you get involved in a film, you don't know what to expect, of course. Especially an indie film as small as this one, whether or not the person who's making the film, be it Jonathan, the director, is going to know how to get what they need for their movie. And Jonathan had a vision and really knew what he wanted, and he had the whole thing figured out in his mind, and did a very good job of getting his actors to do what he wanted, and also getting all the pieces that he needed, which is a tough deal.
I didn't quite know what he was going to be like on set. Because I'm reading the script, I'm like, 2 days, how are we going to do this in 2 days? But he was like really like on the ball and efficient, and which is hard to do. Like when you basically, especially when you're acting in the thing as well, to keep your focus and be like, okay, now I've got to perform and be funny and do all this, and now I've got to wear another hat and like basically tell the same people that I'm with, that I've been joking around with, that all right, no, now it's time like stop your conversation over here because you know we've got things to do.
Everything was planned. You know, I have absolutely no idea how much work it took to make a movie. You know, basically we're just guys in a room. That's all we were. We were just some guys in a room, so I'm like, oh, nothing. Oh my gosh.
I have no problem saying that I believe that once he had all the words to the script for this movie down on the pages, that to him that it just crystallized in his mind exactly what he needed to see. He gave us these audio tapes before we even got together for rehearsals. He mailed us all audio cassettes of him reading the lines for our characters. No interaction, just he sent me a line specifically for Steve Moyer that just had my lines on it read into the microphone by him, because he knew exactly what he wanted to hear. I mean, he had the texture completely mapped out in his mind. He spent countless dollars and hours constructing the set, you know, purchasing the knickknacks and the beaded curtains and you know the neon and the lamps and the stereo equipment, because it was all there in his head. And so once we got out here and started working, it was he knew exactly what he needed you to do, and he would let you know, and as a result, I think the picture is exactly, you know, to an extent, probably exactly what he envisioned it to be. And And for that, you have to kind of tip your hat to him because it's pretty funny. I mean, it's pretty funny, it's pretty different, and I think it's appealing on a lot of levels that are different from your average sort of bathroom humor 2-hour comedy blockbuster that you might see in the theater. So he knew what he was doing. The worst part about being in the movie, well, I guess you probably heard that it was hot.
That's a pretty easy question to answer, and that would have to be the set conditions during recording the entire movie.
I can't say that I've been any hotter.
The heat.
Watching Spencer Decker sweat.
The air conditioner has to be off because the very sensitive sound equipment will pick up the sound of the air conditioner throughout the whole movie if it's on. I really want you to think about what I just said.
The bigger the pit stains got, the more life drained from his eyes.
It did suck. Bad.
Like we have food melting on the table.
It melted the cheese, the prop cheese.
To be truly honest, I mean, you could have cracked a window.
If you didn't notice, we were sweating in the movie. Yeah, I tried to plan it out, in a month that it was going to be workable. It had been about 60 degrees at our practices, and I was kind of planning on that. But Oklahoma weather, doing its thing.
I think it got near 90 one of the days, but that was outside.
We should have got a thermometer or something and actually read it. I mean, you probably think I'm exaggerating, but I honestly don't think I'm exaggerating if I say it was probably like in the over 100.
It was kind of cathartic, really, to just get all that sweat it all out, man. Just let it go. And your mind starts to go different places.
Basically, we were just trying to make it as a team. Well, I was trying to make everyone make it because I wanted to finish the movie.
To step outside from this apartment, it felt like incredible, wonderful air conditioning outside.
It would seriously feel like walking into a refrigerator.
We have all these lights like we have here. Only this is maybe a quarter or a tenth of what we had. So we're all baking. It's like feel like a burger at McDonald's in the warmer.
It was pretty bad conditions. I think I seriously could have died.
Sometimes you just have to figure out a way to get around that. All of a sudden, why is everybody drenched? Well, just throw some more lines in there, which Jonathan did.
There's a scene in the movie that was written into it during production, during filming.
I decided to kind of write an extra scene
devoted to explaining why we're all sweating.
Where Brian is going to blow up. He's losing it because it's so hot and we're sweating and we're dying.
Maybe the fact that I feel like I'm constantly on the verge of passing out! It is way too hot to be wearing a turtleneck! We're gonna take it full neck, anytime, any day, no matter what! Fire won't be that hot again. Ever. Ever, ever, ever.
The Turtleneck Club has been so much fun.
The whole thing was funny. The 2 days were funny.
Probably the two things I'll remember. I don't know how I'm going to forget much of any of this.
Would probably have to do with where I was cramming myself in order to get these shots.
And the Choco Tacos and the hot diet root beer Shasta.
Feeling like you had to puke chocolate.
Getting it done.
So you could actually get it done. There's a phrasing and getting it done.
Getting it done!
You want to get it done.
If Jonathan says, hey, I don't like it, let's do it again, I would say, no.
The melted cheese. For some reason, that's just a visual thing that always comes back.
There's times in which I felt like I had the ability to kill someone, but I didn't.
It was funny that they brought sauerkraut. It was funny that they're a Turtleneck Club.
The whole dog turtleneck thing.
Everything was just weird.
I'll tell you what made me laugh the most is JP. He's just being him.
Excuse me. Should have got some water or some pop. I'm going to take a snack break. It's a little We're not, this wasn't planned, but I think I'm gonna take me a snack break. Yeah.
Well, being a part of the Turtleneck Club was definitely great. It was definitely a good experience. I'll probably remember it forever.
Give them a script that speaks to them.
Say that particular line, just explaining to JP that, his girlfriend, she's trash.
Yeah, here we go. Oh, drop some on the floor.
Well, when the camera first started rolling, I think that's when it started to hit me that what did I get myself involved in?
There was a lot of energy in that room.
Probably for the first 2 hours, my eyes were like just about as wide open as you could probably get them, in shock of some of the randomness at the time. And he'd be looking at me and he would just be laughing at me, just looking at the people in their lines going, what is going on?
It was bizarre from the beginning to the end.
Yes!
Turn the page.
In a rage.
Get that neck encaged.
Put your hands on your neck. Just give me that turtleneck.
Does this look familiar? You and your friends have found yourselves typing that call for help countless times. Now you can just go to the website. We've made it our job to find the best from film, YouTube, and other sites and put it all in one place. SomethingGoodToWatch.com is loaded with page after page of the movie and video suggestions you're looking for. We're here for the people who want to stop searching and start watching. Start your free trial now at SomethingGoodToWatch.com.